guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, we actually have a much better opponent for us to go up against in the guild altar. Kind of, sort of, in a way. The one thing that was nice about the Kamath wave is he fed us a lot of extra energy, but what this also means is now our Mockmen in our back row can do a lot more damage, because what we're going to be changing here is we basically can change everybody that's like using this control purify. Well, instead we can go to shared fate. Do we need to do it on all heroes? Not really. But it is going to make a difference, especially on heroes like Mockman here. Our Vulcan kind of stays untouched. Now, one thing that we have added as well with this past event is we now have a level 3 core, which is really awesome, because what that means also is up here, Vulcan's core is now a level 4 instead of a level 3, meaning he's going to be giving even more damage to Star Swordsman Mockman. Gurk, we might as well just leave you as is, just to play it safe. I think this is still the route to go. I don't think running Drake is key here. And again, we just got to hope we do have enough energy feed going on here, because that's one of the most important parts here. Just checking everything out one more time. We got the snake, we got everything. So let's jump into it. Let's see what our damage turns out to be against this, I almost said Flame Strike. Faithblade in Flame Shrine. So ordering doesn't really matter on this one, because they are going to go for the lowest HP target with their base attack, which should be the Gurk, and then they're going to go and hit just 2 random targets with their active. So let's hope we get some good RNG with the energy. Sadly, we did not. So we're going to miss some rounds of actives, but honestly, Vulcan's basic isn't that bad. It's actually pretty strong still, and his basic is going to give more attack hits for the Mockman, so it's really interesting how this is going to work out. But as you guys see, we are really disrupting our chain of energy effects here. What we could try doing is, after this one, just throwing in the Drake instead of the Mockman and seeing how the damage difference is, because we can kind of look at another boss wave where it's like, well, is it actually worth it? Because we are missing quite a few actives in this situation, only running 4 demon bells. And it's almost like Vulcan with a demon bell would be nasty though, because he like always gets actives off anyway. I think this one, like, as long as we can get just that little extra energy burst around, it should be pretty close to like actives every round. But luckily Vulcan doesn't care too much, and Mockman in the middle rounds, if he has an active or not, again, isn't that big of a deal. It's the later rounds that he needs an active. Once he turns back into his ascending form, or sorry, descending form, which is more offensive one. Right? I don't know how this damage is going to be. Again, that was the one advantage the Kamath wave had, was he hit the entire back wave, which fed them a ton of energy overall. Looks like it's going to be one more round. There's almost perfect energy gain there. Man, Mockman is actually not getting hit often, so he might not even transform into his other state again, is he? End of round? No, he didn't. And we only get a basic. Man, this might be really bad damage then. Against the Faithblade, I don't know if we can actually do this combo. Yes, only 283. So you can see the big difference there. Very big difference in the damage versus the Faithblade wave. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to come in here. We're going to do the smart move. We're just going to remove you, and we're going to add in the Drake that we should always be using kind of in this situation. And we're also going to be going back over to Freya's core, because of course his core is really only good when you have a secondary damage dealer. If you don't have that damage dealer, it's not really worth it. And yeah, we can just put him all to red here. Doesn't really matter. Should be fine. Save that out. Let's go in with the Drake now, while keeping the Gurk as well. And we'll just see a gigantic difference in damage, I'm sure. Let's see how this turns out. Because now we should have flawless energy feed to every single hero now, which means we are guaranteed an active from Vulcan every round. And now we have that defense down, because some of Vulcan's attacks guaranteed to hit the lowest HP target. So it does add up a decent amount. You'll notice the damage on the front target is going to be much higher than the back targets. Sadly, That's the other thing. The Faith Blaze, we're missing out on a lot of counterattack damage. Like, as bad as Kamath sounds, it's really not that bad because he just does so much. He feeds energy. He guarantee hits our queen in the back row, and right now we're not guaranteed it, which we miss all these ping damages, which does add up. Like, overall, it really does. And again, hoping the Gurk hits the Vulcan, hoping the Snake hits the Vulcan. Everything needs to hit the Vulcan for us to do max damage here. The Gurk is definitely a better pickup, I think, nowadays compared to the Rogan. The Rogan in the old days gave a lot of good survivability, but now you don't need that survivability at all. As you can see, the Freya's shielding is just overpowered AF. It just goes absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, we just have Vulcan busting out huge actives every single round and hopefully doing even more holy damage into the hundreds of holy damage every single attack. All right, round 11. That was a kind of glitchy attack, wasn't it? That looked a little weird. Sometimes his attacks feel so little, other times it seems really big. But yeah, these actives are feeling good here. Hitting the queen is good as well. We got another snake active. Yeah, I mean, it's feeling kind of good here. We'll have to see, though, at the end here. We got one more big snake active, and we'll have to see how that turns out. Man, the game goes so fast now, it feels so glitchy. Big active. Let's see all these big damage numbers here. So hitting these two, and then the big burst on all three. It should be more damage. It definitely should be more damage. Yeah, like 5 times the damage. We basically just hit 1 quadrillion, and that's up from the 200 and like what, 28 or something like we had before. So it really comes down to what boss you're facing off against, because if it's a boss that's going to reliably give your heroes energy, then you can take that hit and not run 5 demon bells. But you saw how bad the RNG was. That adding the Drake in with a demon bell is good. Honestly, what we should test tomorrow is we should go back instead of the Drake and still use you, which means we should go back to the Vulcan here, but just use him with the Demon Bell and see if the damage numbers go back to being much higher. Because again, we can still run him very offensive. Did he still, oh man, I took him out of the lineup, so now I have to redo a couple things. Give him his skill damage back. And then, yeah, he's got that all done. The core's there. Everything's there. So, yeah, we can still run this core with additional damage, giving additional buffs to our Mockmen. But we'll have to test that tomorrow. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.